Wilson's run of fine form continued with victory in the International Championship last week, and he starts as favourite tonight. However, Kyren Wilson edges the head-to-head with 5 wins to 4, including their most recent meeting at the quarter-finals of the World Championship. In the commentary box, Stephen Hendry's alongside Phil Yates for this best-of-11 frame match. First, though, let's hand over to our MC, Phil Seymour.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to the ManBet X Champion of Champions here at the Ricoh Arena in Coventry. This is our second semi-final. It's the best of 11 frames, and as you can hear, the crowd here are ready for the action. So let's bring on the players. We begin with the former Shanghai Masters champion, winner of the 2018 Paul Hunter Classic, the Warrior, Kyren Wilson. And his opponent, the reigning Masters champion, fresh from victory in the International Championship, looking to fire his way to the final, the Pistol, Mark Allen.
One more and more, people just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for, one more and more, people just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for, free from desire, mind and senses purified, free from desire, mind and senses purified, free from desire, mind and senses purified, free from desire.
England versus Northern Ireland in a packed Ricoh Arena on this super Saturday for snooker. Mark Allen has been playing beautiful snooker, of that there is no doubt. But that also applies to Kyren Wilson. He was very impressive in the group as well. It's a tough one to call this. Best of 11 frames, a race to 6, and it begins right here.
Frame, Mark Allen to break.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see one of these two players who comes out on top tonight. They both had a couple of days to wait for this match. They both played so well in their respective group finals that they both would have preferred to just carry on and play the next day, keep the momentum going. But that's part of being a top snooker player. So, first chance already. Mark Allen will be disappointed with that break-off. Trademark long pot from Kyren Wilson. 1. Need to tighten his break-offs up, Mark Allen, for the rest of this match.
It's been a tournament full of break-offs where one red has been left, quite often to a middle pocket. On that occasion, Wilson swooped from distance.
No, might possibly be going into the pack already here. It's very aggressive, but no, just playing the cue ball into an area. Let it travel too far though, but this red is going to play here. If he was short, he would have had the red to the right middle. Play this with topspin. He's just looking at the path the cue ball is going to take when it goes through the bunch of reds. He'll be hoping to land on the black to the left corner. just shows you how important the break-off is. It seems like you go back to your seat, you think, okay, it might not cost me, but that poor break-off could cost Mark Allen the frame if Karen Wilson pots this slightly tricky black. Nothing to do with the cue ball. There's a red ready and waiting. Well, this makes the pot more difficult, raising the butt of the cue. That's the way he prefers to hit the ball. And that was a pretty good shot, to be fair, so early on.
12.
Gone are the days where players would take 2 or 3 frames to warm up. To say that one break-off is... Karen Wilson looks sharp and ready to go straight away, focused.
Well, I think this tournament, as we were discussing before the match started, Stephen, has been a real showcase for the modern game. When you think about it, here we are on
21.
Saturday evening, 6 days in, and we've not had one frame of half an hour or more.
Yeah, we've also worked out there's been 25 centuries, roughly 25% of frames in this competition have been made with a century break.
28.
But Karen Wilson would be horrified from where the cue balls ended up there. The position of the reds, he'd have been fully expecting to win the frame. Can he get enough of this red to put it to the middle? No, he's already looking at the safety shot. So a disappointing end to that chance. We'll maybe get the chance to see if it was a heavy contact, but
Karen Wilson, 28.
notwithstanding, he'd be disappointed.
A lot has been made, and rightly so, of their high-profile meetings in the Masters final and also at the Crucible last season. But it has to be remembered that they played in the semi-finals of this tournament, the Champion of Champions, in 2015, and Mark Allen ran out a 6-3 winner.
Maybe tempted to this red, with this red to the left middle. Mark Allen. It's very risky. Kyron certainly didn't plan to leave this red on. No, it's the safety shot. Trying to get this cue ball back to somewhere near the baulk cushion. Well, they'll settle for that. Good shot.
Two outstanding players, two in-form players as well. Between them this season they've won 3 tournaments. But I think two very different players. One more inspirational, the other just really tough to beat and getting tougher, it seems, by the tournament. Confidently using the yellow as the blocker there on the red up towards the baulk line.
Well, that's 2 efforts. Hit pots to the middle bag. The first one was a very difficult one, but I expected Mark to pot that one. Both missed thick to the far jaw. Playing there with a touch aside, which pushes the cue ball across. There was a reason for missing them both thick. So, of the 2 players, possibly Mark Allen is the one that's not settled as much yet. See the poor break off as well. 2 attempts at pots. It's quite interesting, Phil, that he admitted he had one eye on the final tomorrow. And there's no way in the world to be disrespecting his opponent, but that's the way. You just can't help thinking of what's ahead sometimes. But he needs to concentrate on tonight first.
And conversely, of course, when I spoke to Kyron, as you might have heard before the start, he was saying, well, you've got to view Ronnie as just another player. So different approaches to this. Nothing right, nothing incorrect, just your own personal preference. One thing that is correct, though, the way that Kyron Wilson uses the rest. He is one of the finest I've ever seen, if not the finest. Nevertheless, another pressure shot coming up here with the cue ball in such close vicinity to the side cushion.
Six.
So chance number 2. Good chance number 2.
Kyron Wilson, 6.
That was a very nervy one. He's not comfortable or as comfortable, Karen Wilson, when he's dropping reds in at pace. He much prefers to punch them in and stun balls in rather than play with follow through. But that was a very poor effort.
1.
And it should cost him the frame. That's the kind of miss that stays with you for a while. You have to really battle with your temperament to forget that, get that out of your mind.
8. Nine.
Well, it didn't make contact with the jaws. It was miles away.
Yeah, again, playing it with drag, he's probably got just a slight touch of unwanted right-hand side, which has pushed the cue ball across. That's what happens when you don't deliver
16.
the cue. You're not relaxed and delivering the cue. Timing is not there yet.
Seventeen.
Unlike Mark Allen to be short on the blue, the 4 reds to the right of the pink spot, you can just play for the
Would
1
you turn off the sound of the
to
phone?
the right of those. It's on its own.
Our referee there, Desislava Boshilova, forced to admonish a member of the audience for having his mobile phone on.
22. $23.
When I go into the press seats at the Crucible, Stephen, to watch the World Final, which is a real privilege, I purposely don't take my phone in, and yet I still check my pockets about 10 times before every frame.
$28. $29.
So Allen hits the front in the frame.
36.
Now he's missed a couple of pots to middle already.
$37.
And I think en route he was a little concerned about that one. But at that pace it was always going to slide in off the near jaw.
$41.
Opens the reds, but regardless of what colours he takes off the 2 in mid-table now, he will need the awkward one on the right-hand side.
$49. $50. $57. $58.
31 to the
65.
good. Mark Allen 35 on, so this is frame ball.
We did talk about the heavy scoring ability of Mark Allen, and Kyren Wilson had the first two chances. In the end, Mark Allen, having missed a couple of half chances, the first decent opportunity he's had, he's taken it.
72.
Punished his opponent severely for that misread.
Just a shame there's not quite on for another century here. Not quite enough balls.
77. 81. 86. 92.
Early days, but Mark Allen sending a message. He's saying to Kyren Wilson, if you have chances, it will pay you to take them. Wilson had two opportunities there. They didn't amount to much, and Mark Allen takes the opener.